Hello lovelies, it's Victoria. Welcome or welcome back. I was gonna say to my channel, but this is probably gonna be on TikTok first, and then I'll probably also post it on my YouTube channel. So this is something I just kind of impulsively decided to do over the past day. And I did not expect myself to make this video, and I have a feeling this is going to be kind of controversial and it's going to probably make some people upset. So I just wanted to make a probably relatively brief video talking about things I've realized I don't like or don't vibe with that Tyler Joseph of 21 Pilots has done or said. And it's only a handful of things, or rather things that he hasn't done or said that I also don't really vibe with. I feel like this is good for me as an exercise in balancing my idol worship and balancing my perspective and reminding myself that people that I idolize and look up to are human and not perfect, and that I can also hold a ton of respect and adoration for someone and also not like things that they've done or wish that they had spoken about certain things or things like that. This is my opinion. I just kind of anticipate some people probably being pretty upset with this and wanting to attack me or whatever, but I want to share this anyway. So I need to give the obligatory disclaimer. Tyler Joseph is my idol. He is my biggest idol. He is my biggest musical influence, my biggest songwriting influence. I literally, when I first really discovered and got into their music at 17 years old, I had not been that inspired and that influenced since Taylor Swift when I was a child, and she was literally my childhood hero. So Tyler Joseph is my biggest musical influence, and also just in life, the way that he's lived his life, his family, the fact that he's never really drank alcohol has also really inspired me in my sobriety journey that I've talked about. I literally have my first ever tattoo I got when I was 17 is "The Sun Will Rise and We Will Try Again" from Truce. I'm planning on getting another tattoo inspired by one of their songs. I'm planning on getting a spaceship inspired by March to the Sea. I'm going to call it my sobriety spaceship. If you've spent probably more than 5 minutes watching my content, you've probably picked up on the fact that I am a die-hard 21 Pilots fan. I cannot state it enough. I've seen them 3 times. Yes, that's rookie numbers. A lot of people have seen them 20 plus times, but I'm broke and I can only really see them when they come to my state. But I've seen them 3 times over the past 7.5 years. I love them. I love them. I love them. I love them. Okay? So I wish that wasn't necessary to say, but I've seen so many of his interviews. I am a die-hard fan of this man. And at the same time, there are things that he's done or said or things that he has not spoken on that I'm kind of I wish that was different, or that kind of rubs me the wrong way, or I hope you're joking about this, but I don't really know. But if you're going to just be you don't get it and you have no sense of humor and you're not a fan or whatever, if you're just going to come in with that, I'm probably just going to laugh. And I probably will keep your comment up because I very rarely delete comments, but I'm just going to know that you missed the point. All right, so that was a very long-winded disclaimer. I didn't script this video or anything. I just know what I want to say. So, number one, I saw an interview of theirs, I think from the Clancy album cycle, and I believe I'd seen this interview before, but I don't know why this hit me different, was one of the things where I hope he was joking, and I actually saw some comments that were pointing out that they didn't really like this either, but he had just had his son. He and Jenna just had a son, which I love their relationship, by the way. I've always been a big fan of Jenna Joseph. She's gorgeous. She's so gorgeous. And she's always just seemed super funny, cool, awesome. Love their relationship. They're adorable. I love them. If you've heard my little mini story time about the only real beef I've ever gotten in with other members of the fandom was basically being called a wet blanket for thinking it was weird that someone made a joke about Tyler leaving his wife for a young fan. And being that was obviously a joke, even though I literally asked them if they were joking. And that was a long ass time ago, but I'm still just that person was so weird for that. That's literally not even funny, but whatever. Okay, so he and Jenna had just had their 3rd kid, a son. He has 2 daughters and a son. And he was talking about I was totally down to be a girl dad, but before we found out we were having a son, I was okay, I'm set. I have people to take care of me for the rest of my life. But I have some farmland around where I live, and I was planning on selling it or doing something with it. But as soon as I found out I was having a son, I just had the thought that I need to keep my land, implying that he's going to give his land to his son. And someone commented There was only one comment that I saw, but someone just goes, girls should be able to inherit land too, and also boys should be expected to take care of their parents too. So I didn't really vibe with that, and I hope he was joking. Someone responded to that comment, was like, hopefully he was joking, but yeah, that rubbed me the wrong way. I hope he was joking, but that kind of did rub me the wrong way, and he kind of implies sometimes that he has like a pretty traditional view of gender roles. It was kind of like laughed about, whatever, but I was kind of like, I hope you don't actually only really see like boys should inherit land and only girls should be the caregivers of their families. Like, that'd be disappointing. He definitely does not give me misogynist vibes by any means. I don't get misogynistic vibes from him at all, but that was just a little I was a little sus. I'm not gonna lie, it was a little sus. Speaking of him being like joking and sarcastic and stuff like that, this has nothing to do with really any specific actions from him, but this is more just a commentary on the culture around him and also double standards. I feel like, because it's very established with his fans that he's sarcastic and sardonic and very sassy, and that's like an established thing from him, and it's enjoyable a lot of the times, and it's really funny. And he'll have banter with fans where he'll literally if he gets a question that he either like doesn't feel like explaining at that time, or just, I don't know, just feels like being funny, he'll just be like, no, I don't want to answer that, or like, that's too complicated, or like, that's, or he'll be very obviously sarcastic and be like, that's not that great of a question, or whatever, or like, why are you asking, like, yeah, just kind of roast the fans a little bit, and like, they're fine with it. It's this banter that we have, and it's great because we know that they care about us. But I just kind of realize sometimes, if a woman did that, I have to bring it in, if a woman did that, it would not be received the same way. And maybe it's different because it's like established in the dynamic between their fans that like that's a thing that he does. But I just think of like that Brie Larson interview with Wired when she was answering like the most searched questions about herself, and it wasn't as clear that she was joking, but she kind of responded in like a, does Brie Larson work out? What does it look like I don't work out? Something like that. And like, it wasn't obvious to people that she was joking, but I was just kind of like, if someone like Tyler Joseph did that, that would be received very, very differently. Because like, he basically does that. He responds to a lot of questions like that, of like kind of challenging or feeding into that banter or whatever. And so I'm like, if a woman were to be like, no, I don't want to answer that, or like, that's too complicated of a question, or like, that's not that great of a question, I was like, even if it was obvious that she was joking, I feel like it would be received very differently. And that's just kind of a commentary on the culture that I just find kind of shitty. Then two things that he has not commented on, which is probably hypocritical because I have a tiny, tiny audience, but I haven't really made any content or talked about either of these things either. But in the political climate now, it's just a part of conversation that like everything is political, and it's become more important in a lot of people's eyes for people with any kind of influence or audience to state where they stand on certain issues, and silence has basically become viewed as compliance or complacency. I don't know the right word. And as far as I have seen, as far as I can tell, as far as I've seen, I did not see any statement or stance from them. One, when Roe v. Wade was overturned, which endangered the lives of a giant portion of their fan base, people with female anatomy, including in their home state of Ohio. So it's kind of disappointing to see that. Yes, he has 3 children, but I've seen a lot of celebrities who have children who have also spoken out about that being overturned. A big example is Halsey. I have not seen any thing from them about Palestine, the situation in Palestine, or the situation with ICE as of recently, the ICE raids, people being kidnapped, people's rights being infringed, anything like that, which is disappointing. And I know that they've made statements, Tyler specifically, like when queer marriage became federally legal, he made a statement basically like he didn't want to be like a lot of people that he saw that were basically co-opting the situation for their own personal gain, or to like sell merch, or to just try to play to the public favor. And I get that. I do. But I do think there's like a different level of importance to just making your stance clear on things like that. And like he tweeted Black Lives Matter back in like early 2021. So he made his stance clear of like, love wins. I'm happy for you guys. And happy Pride Month. Like, I admire the bravery of my brothers and sisters out there who can live with pride in who they are. Like, he's definitely made himself obvious as an ally. And that, he's called racism evil. Like, he's definitely spoken out before. And I wish that he had continued that. I do. So those are the main things that I can think of right now. It's probably, I just keep feeling like I'm so prepared for this video to be so badly received. But I feel like it's important for me to maintain perspective on people that I really look up to, and maybe it's helpful for me to make this public and talk about it with y'all, and maybe we can share ideas, or if you want to dissect my opinion in a critical way, or if you are aware of something that I'm not aware of and you can enlighten me, that would be wonderful. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. This went over 10 minutes, but maybe depending on how long it is when I edit it, I can still post it to TikTok. I don't even know, but see you later.